This is Dream Power Radio, the place where your dreams turn into reality. Here is your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Dream Power Radio. This is the place where we talk about dreams, both daytime and nighttime dreams, and how you can use them to make the internal shift to a life you love and rediscover the truth of who you really are. For all of you who've been listening for a while, you know this show is all about life. But now we're going to take a look at a part of life we tend to not want to talk about: death. Most of us go on about life with the sense that we'll live forever, that there'll always be time to do this or to say that, all the while realizing deep down that one day it will all end. And while coming to grips with our own mortality is one thing, what makes it harder to deal with is when we have to face the death of someone we love. And probably the hardest death we have to confront is the death of a spouse, especially if the marriage was a long and happy one. Recently, a friend of this program, author and dreamer Carol Oshman, experienced the death of her longtime husband, Jim. But as she's written about in her latest book, and as she puts it, he's not gone. What does she mean by that? Well, Carol's here now to explain. Welcome back to Dream Power Radio, Carol.
Thank you very much.
Well, Carol,
Nice
first of all,
you again.
first of all, my deep condolences to you for the loss of your beloved Jim. As you say in your book, while he's left us on this physical plane, he's still with you. So tell me about that.
Well, there's three elements. First, there's there's what they call the shared crossing, and then there's the after death, life after death, and how it still goes on. And since he and I both believe hugely in dreams, we knew. I mean, as you know, it's not a belief; it's a know. And he didn't dream very much. He lived through every instant of my experience for 45 years. So he knew. And the night before he passed, we didn't know he was going to pass, but I had a dream that we were going to Rochester, which is where we live now, nearby Rochester, and we were going to get on an airplane. Well, all of a sudden he's gone. I can't find the airplane. And I search and it's gone. And so I woke up. We were lucky to have round the clock nurses almost. And I told the nurse my dream, and she says, well, you know what that means. He's getting ready to go. And then the next night that he did pass, that was what I consider a shared crossing experience. In my dream, I'm sitting on his bed and we're talking. And he all of a sudden says, I'm sick and tired of this dying business. He said, let's get up and go have fun. And so we did. We got off the bed and we went for a walk in the woods, of all places. 5 o'clock, that I got a knock on the door, and the nurse was telling me that he had passed. So the people who run the Shared Crossing Project, they will tell you that I went with them in the beginning.
How so? Because you're still here with us.
Well, in my dreams, I got off of his dying bed with him and saw him through the woods.
So the first dream that you had before he died, would you consider that a precognitive dream, or do you think that was him talking to you at that point
I feel he was talking to me,
and letting you know that he was ready?
right, that he was ready to go.
Was he not able to say that in actual words at that point?
No, he hadn't been able to talk for a couple of weeks. He would talk, but it was always to people you couldn't see. And my husband's from Holland, and his native tongue is Dutch, of course. And he would speak Dutch. He wouldn't speak any English. And he'd be pointing to people up in different parts of the room. One time he did speak in English. He told my daughter that the man in the painting that we have of a street in Holland, that he was visiting him and talking to him.
So you knew he was ready to go at that point.
Yes, yes. And the nurse had said that he was only hanging on because he was worried about me and that I should tell him not to worry about me. So whenever I'm feeling down, I did tell him that. And whenever I'm feeling down, I remember that. Don't worry about me.
Right. So, we hear a lot about people who make plans to try to contact their loved ones after they die. Did you and Jim specifically talk about this beforehand, or was it just something that he, knowing that you're a dreamer, would sort of intuitively understand?
We used to joke about what we would do in our next lives. And he wanted to be an Air Force pilot. He wanted to fly one of those big fighter jets. And also we were going to meet at the St. Petersburg Pier. And of course, that St. Petersburg Pier is gone now. But I hope it's living in heaven because that's where we're supposed to meet. But that's what we talked about.
Your book is a collection of the dreams that you had with him after his death. Before we get into that, I just want to know, did you go to bed every night asking for him to appear in your dreams, or did it just happen spontaneously?
Happened spontaneously. It was a surprise the first night he came, but he kept coming. I keep a dream journal. I've had for 40 more years. And my dream group that's online, they figured out that I was living my grief through my dreams. On the 23rd of November, and on the 29th was the first time I had this dream where he's picking out a new car for me. And as a dream worker yourself, a new car is a new life. And yeah, he picked out a new life for me. I was going to be a widow now instead of his wife. I was hoping for a convertible. But then many times I think I did try to reach him, because I would have these dreams where I'm trying to phone him and I can't phone him. And I'm trying to borrow a phone from somebody. And I'm asking strangers and knocking on doors. And I want to know if I can use their phone because I have to call Jim. And I can't. I know I can't for a long time. So I think there was a period where he had to get acquainted with things on the other side, say hello to everybody. But then we went on to some very, very beautiful dreams, amazing dreams. In December 3rd it was, he did come unexpectedly in my dreams. And our big dog was dying. And as it died, it shrunk to be a bug, a very nasty bug that was trying to bite us. And then I had a second dream that same night where I leave California and I'm to go to Philadelphia. And then I'm to go to Rochester. And of course, all the way I'm trying to find Jim. Within a month, my nephew, and mind you, this bug that bit us was going to bite us. My nephew in California passed unexpectedly. He was like in his 30s.
Oh my. Oh my.
Within a couple of weeks, my niece near Philadelphia passed. And I believe that this was him telling me that this was going to happen.
He was helping get you prepared for
Trying
it.
to prepare me, right.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything else that he told you in your dreams that surprised you?
Yeah. The morning of the funeral, I quite often have songs, music in my dreams. And the morning of his funeral, I woke up with a song going through my head, On the Wings of a Snow White Dove. And I just thought that must have been from him. And then I've got more dreams where I'm trying to phone him and he's not there. And since it's my dream diary, there's 3 examples of my dreaming for other people in there that happened. And I think I spiritually, I was kind of weak at that point because I was looking for him. And as he was weak on the other side, we had to both gather our strength. And he started telling me about a baby, or my dreams told me about a baby. I was going to school to talk to a class, and I told them I couldn't stay long because I had to go home to take care of the baby. It was very clear it was not my baby, but the baby I had to take care of. And then another time I had to take care of the baby again. I had to give up a couple of things in order to take care of the baby. And it dawned on me that the baby was this book about the grief dreams. And when he started taking me back to heaven to meet people, I said, okay, that's when I decided to go back and put it all on paper. And that would be our baby.
And do you think that this did help you in the grieving process?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it did. Anybody that knew me or saw me at that time, they couldn't understand why I seemed to be taking it so easily. But I would see him at night, so why not? And he was a joker. He would send me songs. He said, I woke up in the middle of the night with a song going through my head, the Gene Autry saw Roy Rogers song, Back in the Saddle Again. And I couldn't figure out why that. So I looked up the words on the internet, and it's all about freedom. He's back, the cowboy's back in his saddle, and he can go wherever he wants and do whatever he wants. And that was a song that he gave me in my dreams.
It was kind of giving you permission to go on with your life and not just.
I think so. Yeah, I did. You're right. I didn't think about it that way, that he was giving me permission. There was one dream that the person in charge trained us in combat, and I was to sneak up on an enemy and fire my big gun while another one on my team came from another direction. I'd seen this in action before, and I knew it was meant to trip me up, put me and my teammate in the hospital. So I contacted my teammate, and we made a deal, and we gloated afterwards because we didn't have to go to the hospital. And the meaning, a teammate, somebody you support or who supports you. And Jim is my teammate. And Jim and I were gloating over our win, our getting through a hard part of life, not a war. I was taking it easy, and evidently he was easy too. He didn't want me to grieve.
Well, Carol, this is all really, really fascinating, and we're going to get into more of it, but we have to take a short break now. So we're speaking with Carol Oshman about dreams from the beyond, and we'll be right back. If you're not pleased with the trajectory of your life, the time to begin your own personal transformation is now, and your dreams can help pave the way. How? By tapping into your unvoiced confidence. What is unvoiced confidence, you say? It's the acceptance of your abilities and qualities. It's a state of mind coming from liking and even loving yourself, and feeling free to say or do anything you want without concern for the judgment of others. You were born confident, but may have had it chipped away little by little by the negative self-beliefs you've picked up over the years. If you're looking for the heightened energy, clarity of thought, and the feeling of being more alive that comes from self-confidence, you can rediscover it by paying attention to your dreams. Need some help doing this? Go to my website, thedreamcoach.net, and sign up for my complimentary dream discovery session. I can help show you how your dreams can help you return to the confident person you were always meant to be. Again, go to thedreamcoach.net. thedreamcoach.net.
Welcome back to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Yes, welcome back to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, and we're talking about Dreams from the Beyond with author and dreamer Carol Oshman. Well, Carol, I just want to take a little detour at the moment, because in your recounting of all of these dreams, you sum up your understanding of the dreams in a very succinct, compact way. So tell me, what is your process for getting into the deep meaning of the dream and to understand what it's telling you?
I don't think I could explain it to you. It's well, like the dog turning into an ugly insect that was going to bite us. It just seemed so clear to me that something was going to bite us, and it was the death of the two people that were in the two cities that we're coming to. Another dream I had. We went to an amusement park, our whole family. The children were little. And we didn't have our car, we had another car. And I lost all of them. I couldn't find any of them. And I went to the entrance. I looked in the parking lot, I couldn't find the car. I went to the entrance, and then I figured out, well, that's not the place to be sitting and waiting. I went to the exit, and he still didn't show up. And that was kind of like a nightmare. I woke up, and I realized then that I not only lost him, but he was in a way a connection with our children. He would spend every day at least an hour, maybe more, speaking on the phone when we lived in Florida and they were up here. And he would talk on the phone with them every single day. So there was no need for me to talk to them. I'd just be listening in the background, and I'm their mother, what did I have to say? And I realized with this dream that when I lost him, that I lost my connection to the children too. And I think that was the deepest part of my grief then.
Well, have you been able to reunite with them after this?
Yeah, I've rebuilt that connection. Yeah.
Have any of them had dreams about him?
They don't dream. They don't believe in dreams. they listen, but
That sounds just like children. They don't do what their mother does or tell them what to do.
no, not at all.
Well, what's been their reaction to your dreams? I mean, have you told them about the dreams that you've had about him?
Yes, and I showed them the manuscript before I had the book, but I have to tell you, my oldest son, is scientist all the way. He was project engineer for the James Webb telescope that's been showing pictures lately of the universe. And that's his belief. He doesn't go to church, doesn't believe in God. And my daughter is following in his footsteps. I have another son who lives close by, and he's a little bit more willing to listen to me. Not that I get to talk. I have a grandson, one of my daughter's boys. Now he is interested in it. He's very much interested in all of my books. And when I pass, I'm going to try to push it all his way, because he'll carry on, because this should help people forever, and knowing that they can speak to their loved ones that are gone, and they will see them another day.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I do shows about science also. I just did a show recently about energy healing and how scientists are now getting proof of that. And there is some scientific studies into dream work as well, as you are aware. And it's interesting that there's the science that proves it, but then there are books like yours that also prove it, that these things are real and are possible.
Right, right. I'll tell you one of the funniest things. It's not in the book. It happened a couple months ago after I had the book published. I had a car accident, and it wasn't bad. I went home and I was okay. That next morning, I woke up to the song going through my head. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? I just thought that was so funny. I don't drink, and he never did. But that would be his sense of humor, just pulling my strings because I did have the accident.
So that was him poking a little fun at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he ever send you any dreams that told you what the other side is like?
Yes, I believe he took me back to the other side. My nephew in California that died, his name was David. And in one dream, we went to visit David in his little house. And it was at the where the V, right at that corner, that triangle there. And he had a little rowboat, and he could go wherever he wanted to go. And he was super happy. And it's kind of funny because in life, he had money, but he spent it on toys. He even erected a huge building, one of those metal buildings, in order to keep his multiple Jeeps and ATVs and all that stuff in. So I kind of figured he's in heaven. I told someone that story, and she said, well, I thought we all had mansions. We all have lessons to learn. I think that he was learning his lesson. And it was a special day, the day we went there in the dream. And it's a day when you go to visit your relatives and you take a gift. And I said to David, are we going to go visit my brother? Would be his father, who passed away, maybe 40, 50 years ago. And David said, yes, we were going. We needed a gift. And then in the dream, we decided the gift was me coming to see him. Yeah, that was when I decided I better start writing down what my dreams were.
Mm-hmm. And what a gift it is for other people to be able to read them and to see what is possible. Over the years, you've helped a lot of people by dreaming for them. Did you ever have dreams that involved having their departed loved ones coming to you to send messages?
Oh, yeah. I have. When I first started the dream work, I was about 45 and lived in a small town, Kendall, New York. And there was one grocery store. There was no stoplights. They didn't need it. The joke was they didn't need any because you knew where everybody was going anyway. But there was this grocery store, and young man ran it. His father had started it, and then his father passed, and Kevin, his name is, took it over. I wasn't close friends with Kevin. I knew who he was, but that was it. All of a sudden, one night in a dream, I'm at a party, a celebration for Kevin. And his father, who I never knew, came up to me and starts bragging about his son, how he could do anything he wants to do. He could be president if he wanted to. And I thought, well, this was wild, dream about Kevin. He just was not in the realm of my life, other than when I needed a loaf of bread or something. So I didn't know how to handle it at first, but I thought, I'm going to write him a note and tell him. And if he wants to think I'm crazy, that's okay. So I wrote it to him in a note. He called me immediately. He totally believed that it was a message from his father, because he was thinking of opening a string of stores, of grocery stores in our part of the country. And he didn't know if his father would approve or not. He was wishing his father would tell him. And he was sure this was a message from his father. And he ended up having nine stores, I believe. Little mini marts with gas stations out in front.
That is incredible. Carol, do you have a final thought you'd like to leave with our audience?
Just, you can dream. If you don't think you dream, you can dream. Get a pad of paper and a pen and write, I will remember my dreams. And it might take 4 or 5 nights, but it will finally start to come to you. And you have to write, as you know, immediately, whatever comes to you, you write it down. And it seems to me when you're going through something like I did, or if you're a young person and you're in trouble with your life, your dreams are spot on. They really don't need interpreting. Later on, when you get things smoothed out, you're kind of on the right path, then you have to interpret them. But it'll come to you. It came to me, and it could come to anybody.
And Carol, how can people find out more about you and your books?
I have a website. It's caroloshman.com, and all of my books are listed there. My email is oshman@verizon.net. If they want, I have a paper with all 5 books on it that I'm using to promote the books now. And I'd be glad to send anybody one of those papers so they could see what's available. They're all, each topic is different. One is about what the women in prison dream about, and this one about grief. One is the dreams of the Bible, and how they're there to teach us how to interpret our dreams. When God Stood Up is my story. When it's a combination of my story and the dreams I've done for other people. Half of the book are all dreams that I've done for other people. I've done it more than 400 times.
Mm-hmm. Well, Carol, thank you so much for being on Dream Power Radio today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, we've been speaking about dreams from our departed loved ones with author and dreamer Carol Oshman. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. If so, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Until next time, this is Debbie Spector Weissman saying, sweet dreams, everybody.
You've been listening to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector Weissman. For more information on Debbie or to sign up for her newsletter, go to dreampowerradio.com. This has been Dream Power Radio.